Let's talk the cup. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk the cup. Woo!
Well, hello. Hey there, everybody. It is the 16th of January. It's another Tuesday already, and here we are. This is the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler virtual book club, the Let's Talk to Cutler YouTube channel, and I'm glad to be able to spend these 1,800 seconds with you all this week. I'm delighted about it because I want to talk about forgiveness. I do. I just want to talk about forgiveness this evening, and I just want to start with this general question: who do you need to forgive? That's the question I should just put out there. Who do you need to forgive? Now, you don't have to answer that. You don't need to answer it in the chat. You don't need to put it in there because I don't want you to embarrass anybody or to start anything like that. But we'll get to it. But just in case people are wondering what's going on here and who I am and what this channel is about. It's about inspiration, motivation. It's about challenging ourselves to be the best version of ourselves. It's about challenging ourselves to show up our best, as best as we can, even in the worst of situations. And that requires that we are intentional and deliberate about our conversations. We are intentional and deliberate about how we respond. We are intentional and deliberate about what we do and how we organize our lives. So I'm telling you all, one of the things I've gotten from you all, I've gotten this sense of accountability from you all. So I'm so very thankful for that. But I want to talk about forgiveness. Who do you need to forgive? I know we would dive into it. You're thinking, oh my God, Cutler, how in the world is that inspirational? How is it motivational? It may not necessarily be motivational, inspirational, but it's definitely challenging because we are also challenging, not inspiring and motivating, but we're also challenging ourselves to show up our best self, even in the worst of situations. And sometimes that means you have to stop and see, what is going on. So sometimes we're challenged to forgive. We really are. And I'll tell you why we're challenged to forgive in just a moment. But before I do, I want to say thank you for being with me for the long haul. I want to thank everybody for showing up. Come on over to the chat and say hi to everybody in the chat room. If you don't have your favorite beverage, go get some lemonade, some tea, some water, or whatever your beverage of choice is, and just spend the time. And if you brought snacks, make sure that you brought enough for everybody so that we can share. We're going to make valuable use of our time this evening. And if this is your first time, do me a favor, you all. I've been here for a few years now, but if this is your first time, do me a favor and go ahead and make sure that you subscribe. And once you subscribe, click on the notification button, because the notification button is what lets you know whenever I've gone live and whenever I've uploaded new content. Let me just shout out the LTTC VIPs from my end, the people who seem to have appeared first in the chat room. From what I can see, it looks like Annie Cutler, Hattie Boone, Linda Martin. So good evening to everybody. But I do see the others of you. I see the rest of you. But here's the question. I want to put it out there. Who do you need to forgive? And I'm wondering if we may not just need to, at some point, sometime, just have what I call a day of amnesty, where we're just letting everybody off the hook. Oh, you said this about me, I forgive you. Oh, you did this to me, I forgive you. Oh, that's what you were thinking about me, I forgive you. Oh, you just misunderstood me. Oh, I forgive you. And at some point, you just need to have a day of amnesty, a day of pardoning people, a day of saying, you know what, the offense is all over. I don't hold anything against you. I'm good. And Cutler, why in the world would you start that off as one of your earlier topics in the year? Because a lot of times we come into the new year, we come into a new beginning holding on to old stuff. That's why. And I want to encourage us, I want to challenge us to make sure that you don't come into this new year holding on to old stuff. Because as you're holding on to old stuff and you're trying to move, it's just like having shackles around your feet. It's just like having weights around your ankle. And we find ourselves trying trying to move and wanting to move and go in a new direction or go forward, but we're holding on to old stuff. I want to encourage you not to hold on to old stuff. As you move into 2024, don't hold on to old stuff. Don't hold on to stuff that's going to weigh you down. Don't hold on to stuff that's going to anchor you down. I mean, get things that are going to anchor you and center you and settle you, absolutely, but things that are going to weigh you down and bog you down and keep you from progressing and moving on to the space and this place that's called better. You don't want to do that. And one of the ways that you can free yourself of these weights and these things that come to hold you down, you can forgive. You can absolutely forgive, because forgiveness, I've often said that forgiveness is not necessarily about the other person, but it is about you. And it is all about what forgiveness does for you. A lot of times, why do you think we don't forgive people? As I'm chit-chatting, why do you think we don't forgive people? Here we are, 2024, the 16th of January, and no doubt some of us, maybe not us, but we know some people who are holding on to some things. They're holding on to forgiveness, to unforgiveness. They haven't forgiven people. And I came across something just a couple days ago. It said, forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness. Everybody does not necessarily deserve forgiveness. My goodness, we didn't always deserve forgiveness. Let's just start there. There were things that some of us may have done. Let me just put it in my hands. I'm not even talking about you all, but there were some things that we may have engaged in, some things that we may have done, and it was just simply inexcusable. When I was growing up, I heard people in my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation and my great grandparents' generation saying things like, you had no business doing that. So there were some things that we did that were just inexcusable, didn't have any business doing them. But let's talk about this. Forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness. We did not always deserve forgiveness. And I'm not necessarily talking about forgiveness from God, from the Creator. I'm talking about forgiveness from other people. We didn't always deserve it. But as I was reading this quote, as I was reading this saying the other day, it said, forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. So let's just start there. And I'm telling you, as you are going into 2024, as we are here in 2024, and you're trying to navigate, you're trying to meander, you're trying to process, you're trying to move along, as you are moving on a forward path, you need to make sure that you're not holding on to stuff that weighs you down, and unforgiveness will weigh you down. People know, forgive people not because they deserve it. They might deserve it and they may not deserve it, but that is not the key point. The reason you need to forgive people is because you deserve peace. You deserve not to be weighted down. I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I believe it with my whole heart. Forgiveness is not always about other people. Forgiveness is about you, because when you don't forgive, you are connected to the thing that has offended you. When you don't forgive, you are connected to the thing that offends you. And why would you voluntarily stay connected to something that offends you? You don't want to do that. I forgive so that I can free myself. I forgive so that I can exhale. I forgive so that I can not be entangled. I forgive so that I can be detached, so that I can be free, so that I can move about. And no, it does not mean that what a person did was all, it does not mean that they were right. But what it means is that I am making myself all right. They were not right, but I'm making myself okay in the situation. I'm telling myself, you know what, you're strong enough to handle this. You have enough fortitude to make your way through this. You have the perseverance, the wherewithal to handle this. So what they did may not have been right. Absolutely not. But guess what? I'm making myself all right, because I'm freeing myself from the thing that offended me. And we don't want to live, walk, breathe, sleep, or dwell in offense. Not this year, we don't. How many of us can say, I've lived in the space of offense long enough? I lived in a space where I was offended by what people said, by what people did, by what people thought. And when you live in that space, you become hostage in that space. And you relinquish and you give people that power over you. But I'm going to say something that I've been saying for years. It is a part of my mantra, and you all could take this, you can share it. Take this page from my book. Learn how to say to people, you know what, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I gave you that much power over me. I'm so sorry that you thought you had that much influence over me. Take it back and learn how to forgive them and keep right on moving. Cutler, is easier said than done. Yes, it's easier said than done, but which one is more rewarding? Which one is more valuable? To not forgive them and keep living in a space of offense, or to learn how to forgive, even though it's sometimes difficult or challenging, so that you can walk into a space of victory. We talk about moving and going to the space that's called better, and this place is called better. You all, as soon as you learn how to forgive, you are truly on your way to a place that's called better. And better does not have to happen 5 years from now. It can happen right now. As soon as you say to yourself, you know what? Some of this foolishness, some of this nonsense, I've got to let that stuff go. Got to let it go. Because it means you no good. And sometimes we hold ourselves in this holding pattern because there are things that mean us no good, and we volunteer to stay there. Ain't nobody made us stay there, but we sometimes put ourselves there and we stay there. Paula D, you're absolutely right. When you don't forgive someone, they live in your head rent free, mortgage free. Learn to let it go. Just learn to let it go. This year, just say, you know what? I've just got to let it go. People do things, yes, and I am not so disillusioned as to think that people don't hurt you. And people used to have this old adage, this cliche: sticks and stones may hurt my bone, but sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's not true. That's a lie, if the truth be told. That is a lie, because words can hurt. Words can ruin your reputation. Words can damage your character. Words can cause emotional scars. Words can cause psychological scars. Words can cause people to retaliate. Words can cause physical harm. Words can cause a whole lot. Words can cause internal anxiety. Words can do a whole lot. So yes, words do hurt. So let's stop telling our children that lie. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words may never hurt. I get it. The goal is we want them to learn how to ignore stuff. But let's be true. Words hurt. Words hurt. But don't give people that power over you to the point that you're just going to live in offense. Yeah, there were people who offended me in my childhood, and I had to. I'm telling you, I had to learn how to let stuff go. And some stuff, it took me years to learn how to let go. Some people, it took me years to learn how to forgive. Because forgiveness does not always come easy. I'm here. I need to put up both hands and both feet. Forgiveness does not always come easy. I did not learn easily how to forgive. Yes, well, Gregory, you received grace. You received forgiveness. Yes, I did, but I did not learn easily how to forgive. I had to become very intentional. I had to become very deliberate about learning how to forgive. But as soon as I understood the power, here we go. As soon as I understood the power of forgiveness, then it became easier. As Paula D said, no. When I don't forgive you, you're living in my head rent free. And you're still exercising some control over my life, whether you know it or not. No, but you know what? I got to let you go. So let's learn to let things go. And if necessary, yes, I'll say this. And if necessary, let people go. Sometimes we need to accept the apology that we will never receive. Sonia Bailey, you are absolutely correct. Sometimes people offend you, and they will never say, I'm sorry. And here you are offended because you're looking for an apology. You know they did you wrong. And you're holding on, you're holding on thinking, well, you know what? That one day they will apologize, or I'm not going to say anything to them until they apologize. Listen, as Sonia said, sometimes we need to accept the apology that we will never receive. Because what does that do? That frees me. You never, so you never gave me an apology. You don't even have to go and bring that up to people. Listen, just keep right on going. Because sometimes, and here I say this, sometimes don't bring things up, because if you bring it up, then you definitely may not get the response that you want. You're looking for an apology and they won't bring it up. In fact, what they could possibly do is try to justify why they did what they did. And then who's going to be even more offended? Sometimes, thank you, Sonia, sometimes we need to accept the apology that we will never receive. Oh, this is good stuff y'all are saying in this chat this evening. Fragrance is the forgiveness a flower gives after someone steps on the flower. I love it. It's like stepping on a flower, and the flower still gives this wonderful fragrance. The flower said, listen, what you did to me was not that was mean, that was cruel, that was nasty, that was dirty. But guess what? I'm still going to blossom, bloom, and give fragrance. I'm still going to produce. I'm still going to be successful. I'm still going to be victorious. I'm still going to march to this space and this place that's called better. I'm still going to walk in purpose. I'm still going to walk toward destiny. That's what you do when there is forgiveness. Because forgiveness hampers your ability to walk in and on purpose. Forgiveness interrupts and interferes with your ability to march toward destiny without distractions. Forgiveness is a distraction to destiny. Unforgiveness, rather, is a distraction to destiny. And you don't want to live in that space. Oh, I love the things that you all are saying this evening. I love every bit of this. So then, Cutler, what is that we do? You focus on the fact that you deserve peace. I love this, Marissa. If someone apologizes, I say thank you. I don't expect an apology from anyone. Just move forward. I love that approach so much because sometimes I love that for a couple of reasons. One, because it is strategic. Sometimes you find it difficult. Have you ever been in a situation when people apologize? Yeah, so in this case, they apologize, and you found it difficult to muster up the words to say, I forgive you. And you don't want to say it's okay. You don't want to say I forgive you because one, it was not okay. And you're finding it difficult to say I forgive you. Learn to forgive. And even if you're having a challenge saying I forgive you, and so let's just be transparent. Sometimes we have difficulty saying, okay, all right, I accept your apology. Sometimes we say that. But I love what Marissa said. She said, when someone apologizes, I say thank you. Thank you for acknowledging the potential offense that you call, the potential hurt that you call, the potential damage that you call, the potential wrongdoing that you effected upon my life. Thank you for acknowledging that. So I love that strategy. When people apologize, just learn to say thank you. Even if you're not psychological, emotionally in a space when you can say, I forgive you. But we've got to get to that space, you all. We've got to get to that place. Again, because if we don't, we are allowing ourselves to be bound and chained and shackled and fettered. We are allowing ourselves to not progress and move forward toward our victories and our wins and our successes. We are the cause of that. A lot of times people say, oh, so what hindered you? Sometimes we hindered ourselves. Now, we hindered ourselves because somebody else was the catalyst of doing it. But you have to look and say, you know what? No, I'm bigger than that. I'm better than that. I'm beyond that. I'm greater than that. And yes, it doesn't mean that you're better than people, but sometimes we are better than so many of our circumstances. I almost want us to put that in the chat. I am better than so many of my circumstances. Not better than other people, but you are better than a whole lot of your circumstances. That is why I say this. We are striving to show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. Situation may not be good, but guess what? I'm going to show up my best self. And I'm going to be deliberate. I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to strive. I'm playing in my head now. There are some people that you just need to make a list of people that you need to forgive. And I don't mean call them. I don't mean text them. I don't mean email them. I don't mean communicate with them. There are some people that you just need to forgive in your own head and heart and mind. Forgive them and move on. And you will feel so much better. You will feel like a weight, has been lifted off of you. Make a list. Some of us need to make a list of the people that we need to forgive. We do. We need to make a list of the people that we need to forgive. And I'm going to tell you, one of the things that we can do to really just learn how to forgive and to practice forgiveness is we need to take a look and see, well, what's causing my pain? What's causing my hurt? Let me see if I can pinpoint this thing. What's going on? Is it because someone said something about me? Is it because I failed in some capacity? Was it because I missed out on an opportunity? Did somebody break my heart? What is going on here? We need to learn how to pinpoint the cause of our discomfort. What has hurt me? It's almost like going to a medical facility and they're trying to get to the root cause of the pain. We need to do the same thing. What caused my hurt? What caused my angst? What caused my anxiety? I love that. Yes, I am better than my circumstances. Thank you, Annie Cutler, for putting it there. I am better than my circumstances. Because in all of my circumstances, love prevails. And I know that I am loved. So as we're practicing forgiveness, let's take a look. Let's learn how to identify the hurt. What is causing my hurt? And then I have to acknowledge the fact that this is how I'm feeling. We talked about it the other week when I talked about negative emotions. We need to say, okay, so this is how I'm feeling. Something has caused my angst. Something has caused my anxiety. Something has caused my pain. And this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling grief. I'm feeling pity. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling some kind of way, as the younger people would say. Or it may go a little more than just superficial or beyond the surface. It may go deep rooted to the point where I could say, listen, I'm feeling disgust. Did not say that like it was deeper. I'm feeling disgust. I'm feeling depression. Maybe I'm feeling hatred. I'm feeling jealousy. But because we have to be true to how we're feeling. Identify what hurt you and now acknowledge what emotion are you carrying. What is it? What's weighing you down? Is grief weighing you down, or is jealousy weighing you down? Is pity weighing you down, or is disgust weighing you down? Is sadness weighing you down, or is depression weighing you down? What is weighing you down? Because when you think about it, it could strike a whole lot of responsive chords. It could pull at your heartstrings in more way than one. And you got to say, how is this thing making me react? How is it making me feel? Because sometimes, let's go back to words. Sometimes people's words will hurt you. And they will sadden you. And they will isolate you. And then before you know it, it may cause you to hate them. So there are a whole lot of things pulling at your heartstrings. And you got to be honest about what you're feeling, because can you carrying around all of that sadness and anger and hate over words? And when you can relieve yourself of all of that by learning to practice forgiveness, I said that, learning to practice forgiveness, because I confess it does not come easily and it does not always come overnight. But when you can identify it and understand what's weighing you down, and you say to yourself, you know what, Cutler reminded us that forgiveness really starts on the inside of me. It's about what's inside of me. And you have to say, you know what, I didn't deserve that. I'm not the reason that person lashed out at me. I'm not the reason that person was angry or was angry. I am not the fault. I am not the cause, and I am not taking that on. So when you do that, you begin to relieve the weights right then. No. That person was not justified in talking to me like that. So you see, forgiveness really has to start within you, because sometimes we can be shock absorbers, and we just absorb all the pain. We absorb all the stuff. We're like a sponge. We soak in everything that everybody threw our way, because one, they want us to know that we deserve what they're saying. We're the cause for them to talk to us like that. No, you're not. Let forgiveness start within you. Some of us ain't done nothing to nobody. Y'all know I'm from the South, and I use a double negative quicker than a cat with blinker's eye. Have y'all ever heard that before? But I'm telling you, sometimes you ain't done nothing to nobody. So no, you are not the reason for someone to hurt you. You're not the reason for someone to disrespect you and to talk to you any kind of way. So you need to forgive yourself first before you realize that you have the capacity to forgive other people. So learn how to forgive yourself and then let it go. No, I'm not the root cause of this, and I'm not even going to live in that space. You know what? Well, maybe I said something. Maybe you didn't. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe it's not. Let's learn how to examine that. And then you'll start breathing, because you say, you know what, I don't deserve to live in that space. And you can exhale and inhale clearly. And learn how to appreciate the breaths that you take. And then you can learn how to exercise compassion first towards you, and then for the person who hurt you. And I'm not even saying that you need to try to understand why they did what they did, because sometimes you can't understand why people do what they do. Don't even try to get in their heads. I know sometimes some specialists and professionals and authorities will say, "Oh, yeah, just try to empathize with them." No, not at all. Because sometimes when you try to empathize, you try to understand, and when you try to understand, you try to give rationale and logic to why they did what they did, and so you try to understand what motivated them to do what they did, what circumstances caused them. No, don't even do any of that. Just be compassionate. Keep on going. Be compassionate, offer them compassion, offer yourself compassion first, and then keep on going. You cannot, Tracy Johnson, I'm telling you, you cannot make sense out of nonsense. Because some things are just nonsense. And we hope that people will say the right things in certain situations when you're feeling vulnerable. When you're emotionally drained, people will say the wrong things, and you look at them as if to say, "So, did you hear what you just said? Does that even make sense to you?" Sometimes you cannot make sense out of nonsense, so don't even try. Just exercise compassion and keep moving forward. And then say, "You know what? I'm going to forgive unconditionally." Now, let me talk about unconditionally, because a lot of times we just sort of we take unconditionally to mean I'm forgiving everything. To forgive unconditionally means that whatever the situation, whatever the causation, whatever impetus there was behind you saying what you said, whatever the condition may be, I'm just going to forgive. I'm just going to forgive with no strings. I don't expect anything. I don't want anything. I'm giving you the forgiveness with no strings attached, and I'm moving on. I don't want you to come back. You don't have to paint my house. You don't have to wash my car. You don't have to give me $5. You don't have to walk my dog. You don't have to babysit my children. You don't have to go and check on my family. No. You don't have to do anything. No strings attached. As a matter of fact, it means I'm clipping the proverbial cord. That's what unconditionally means. There are no additional conditions whereby we are attached. I am forgiving unconditionally, without expectation. As a matter of fact, the expectation is that there is no other connection. And just because you forgive, it does not mean that people need to have access. Just because you forgive somebody, it doesn't mean that they have access back into your life. I said that years ago, and I still maintain its truth. And then go on and live out your grateful life, because forgiveness is such a powerful way to empower yourself so that you can grow, so that you can move, so that you can develop, so that you can blossom, so that you can, as McDinah says, so that you can be the flower that gives off the fragrance even after I was one time stepped on, looked over. I'm telling you, y'all, when you let go of something that burdens you down, when you let go of negative energy, when you let go of all these kinds of emotions, you are saying to yourself, I receive the peace that I deserve. I receive the freedom that's going to allow me to become a better version of myself. That's what you're saying. You are empowering yourself. You are empowering yourself to walk and talk and breathe in a space of positive energy, so that not only will you experience it, but everybody around you will experience the positive energy that you emote. Go on with your effervescent self and emote positive energy. Because when you do it, you're showing others, I am moving into a space that's called better. And when you move into a space that's called better, you model for other people how to do the same thing. And after you get through all of that kind of stuff, you're saying, you know what? I love myself. It lets you love you. It lets you love other people. Just learn how to forgive. I've been talking to friends who we have by all rights, we are justified and sometimes in holding on to unforgiveness. Because it seems like there are some people in our lives who some people in our lives, we cannot pay them to do right. We can't pay them to treat our loved ones right. We can't pay them to do right by us. I know sometimes if there were people that we could just pay to do right, we just pay them off and say, listen, do right. But some people, here I go with another country saying, some people won't do right because they ain't got do right down in them. But you learn how to forgive and move on. And learn that there are some people that you say, you know what, I just need to forgive these people. I got to forgive the people who did me wrong. Sometimes I got to go back and forgive the people in my past. Sometimes I got to forgive life for life. And sometimes I even need to say to the Creator, you know what, it looks like you didn't have a plan for my life, but you know what, you did. Forgive me for not seeing the plan. Forgive me for not understanding the plan. And you've got to learn how to forgive yourself. But just go on and learn how to forgive. Make a list this week. Make a list this week of people that you need to forgive. I'm telling you, I'll be back next Tuesday. Some people almost forgot that today was Tuesday because of the holiday. By the way, happy day after Martin Luther King Jr. birthday weekend. But I'm telling you all, let's practice forgiveness. For the sake of yourself, for the sake of your peace. Stop saying, oh, you know, they don't deserve my forgiveness. Forgive them and let it go. Take off like a hot air balloon. Drop the weights and go on. Go on and accelerate. Go on and ascend. Go on and soar. Go on and float. Go on to move to bigger and better. Drop the weight of unforgiveness. Let's learn how to forgive people. Let's learn how to forgive people. God knows there are people in our lives who sometimes, they make it difficult. But you have to say to yourself, I'm better than my circumstances. And I'm worth the peace that I'm getting ready to give myself. I want to thank you all for allowing me to come into whatever space you've allowed me to come into, whether it's your living room, your dining room, your family room, your porch, or if you're out walking, exercising, wherever it is. I want to say thank you. Thank you all so very much. Let's keep doing what we do. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Keep your heads up. Keep your hopes up. Stay safe. Stay sane, because lots of stuff is going about. COVID is still on the rampage. The colds are out there. Flu, pneumonia, all that kind of stuff. Take care of yourself and know that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. Until the next time I see you, which will be next Tuesday, tell somebody else. Come on, tell them. Come on, and let's talk to color. I'll see you the next time I see you. Good night, everybody.